welcome everyone to the Codo Bach Pitstop. Race 2 of 36 in the NASCAR circuit is completed. Matt Lauterbach here on the show, and of course, joined across from me in no good blue and white.
Yeah, that guy wearing that no good blue and white is the co-host of Codo Bach Pitstop, Patrick Codo. Matt, we have some steam to blow off on this show. Some good things did happen, but also some bad things happened.
Yes, quite a bit did happen this weekend at Atlanta. It has a lot of fans very confused and puzzled, considering how the ending of some races contradicted the endings of other races. So, should be a lot of fun to talk about. But
Got that
first,
right.
First, let's get into it. Our paint scheme of the week. We had a lot of different paints out there rocking it on our second drafting race of the year. Pat, whose scheme you going with?
Matt, I'm not gonna lie. The schemes this week were kind of a downgrade from last week because you just saw the normal schemes. I'm like, okay, no creative schemes. I mean, yeah, there were some that were decent, but I'll tell you this though: Shane Van Gisbergen's WeatherTech car in a Cup car. Ho, 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 ho,
Oh,
ho. Now, it wasn't bad for Xfinity, but Cup,
yeah.
that's
I'm
my scheme of the week.
SVG
And
is
he
going to be.
raced good on Sunday.
He raced pretty good on Sunday. Granted, it was a drafting track, but still, he raced very good compared to his Daytona 500 debut. So,
Yes.
SVG, those
Well,
paints.
thankfully, we're going to a track where SVG is actually pretty good at.
Yes, yes, we'll get to that much later in the show, but SVG is going to be
Sure.
rocking the schemes in that 88 car a lot this year. Those Trackhouse boys, they got the pain rolling out there now. If only they could get the performance going. All
Right,
right.
that's the thing. Because Pitbull is leaving soon.
Pitbull's already out the door.
Oh, or
Yeah.
how? But as I say, you just lost Pitbull, so
Yeah,
that hurt a little bit.
that hurts quite a bit, and it hurts one driver in particular who we'll talk about later on in the show.
Yeah.
But we'll get my paint scheme of the week. Oh man, there are a lot of good cars rocking it this weekend. You know what? This may be an unpopular opinion, but this one kind of leaped off to me. Give me Ryan Preece's Entenmann's number 60 Ford. I actually did like the look of that car. He's new cars out there, new liveries. I
It
didn't
wasn't
mind
too
it.
bad.
There's going to be people that are not going to like it, but that's an unpopular opinion for me. I
I'll tell
kind of
you what. I'll tell you what scheme was unpopular this weekend. Tyler Reddick's car.
uh, I just didn't really like the look of Reddick's car. The
Yeah,
20
I wasn't a fan of it either.
No, the I like Bubba's car. Bubba's car was okay. That was a nice little blue and purple mix paint scheme, but
It
Reddick,
was.
eh. I just couldn't get behind Reddick's scheme at all. It just didn't really look good.
I don't
But
think anybody could.
nah, not a whole lot of people could. But Pat, a lot of people may be getting behind this. We have rumors of a new manufacturer coming back to NASCAR. That's right. A familiar face could be rearing its head once again. Dodge is rumored to be making a return to the NASCAR circuit. We have not seen Dodge as a manufacturer in the sport since Brad Keselowski won the title back in 2012. They weren't around for the Gen 6. They've been out of the sport for the last 13 years, but seems like they are itching to get back in it.
Question is, who's gonna if it's true, who's gonna pick up the Dodge? Like what teams
Yeah.
and and will it cost a manufacturer or is it going to be a fourth manufacturer? Because you got your Fords, Toyotas, Chevys.
Right.
Are we going to drop a manufacturer or is it just going to be a new fourth one?
I would like to think it's going to be a new fourth one. We've seen Dodge's run with Toyotas, Fords, and Chevrolets back from like 2007 to 2012. Those were the good old days of NASCAR, but looks like they're gonna be rumored to come back. And you mentioned some teams. We haven't seen what teams. It's too early to report which teams will be moving over to Dodge if the rumors are true, but
Right.
you never know. Penske's still
I was
around.
gonna say let's see if the rumors are true first.
Well, it's the rumor is that Dodge is anticipating a return to NASCAR, but they would start initially in truck. So it would be in truck, next year. That's when they're anticipating the return. And then we would hope their hope is to be back in the Cup Series as soon as 2027 or 2028. So see how
Okay,
that'll.
so we'll see down the road.
Yep, yep. So it's going to be like a slow build up to it. We don't know for sure which teams, but I will say a team to keep an eye on that could go back to Dodge is Penske. Penske,
Yeah.
they ran they ran Dodge from 2003 to 2012. When Dodge was last in the sport, Keselowski won the title back in 2012. So you never know. It's a strong possibility that Penske could go back there, but
Yeah. Year of the greatest championship celebration.
oh, Greg,
Brad Keselowski being drunk live TV, dude. I'm all in for that shit.
I was, God, I wish I was old enough to more comprehend what was happening. I was only 11 when Bad Brad won the title back in 2012. I was happy he won. I was very happy he won because I was tired of seeing Jimmy Johnson win all the time, and 2011 broke my heart because I wanted Carl Edwards to win. But yeah, I just remember Brad Keselowski being drunk as shit on TV, and me being my naive 11-year-old self was like, what is happening here right now? Why
He's
is
like,
he
Mom,
what
Dad, what is he? What is that?
what
What's in that glass?
what's in that glass? What is this man saying right now? I was so I was such a naive little one.
Hey, you gotta start him young, right?
Got to start him young, but you know what? I'm old enough to more comprehend what happened. But hey, you never know. I mean, Keselowski, he ran Dodge, but maybe one day I don't ever believe RFK will switch from Ford to Dodge, but you got to believe that maybe Keselowski seeing this could be like, maybe this could be an opportunity for something, not as a driver, but more in terms of his ownership
I
role in
was gonna
NASCAR.
say if the rumors are true, Brad might be making some calls soon.
He might be making some calls. You never know. It could be some quote unquote potential technical alliances that Keselowski could be amassing, but we'll see. Depending, we have to wait and see what happens with the rumors here.
Right.
But Dodge could be making its long-awaited return to NASCAR, so have to see how it goes. But Pat, silly season is already starting up, and it's just the regular season, but it's nothing full time, but it's potential for one of the rising stars in this sport, a man
How
who
the
you
fuck
and
do they find this guy is what I want to know.
well, hey, he runs really good in trucks, so that's how you're able to do it. I just don't know how he's going to do bypassing Xfinity, but Corey
Yeah.
Heim is set to become the first ever developmental driver at 23-11. He will drive part-time in the 67 car later this year, starting at Kansas. We saw Heim run some races last year, subbing for an injured Eric Jones, and then making a couple starts in the 50 at 23-11. Pat, you and I, we've said quite a bit about Corey Heim. We said a lot about his personality and character, but there's no denying this kid can wheel a race car.
He can wheel a race car, but you just gotta make sure you just gotta hope he makes good decisions on the track. Because yes, he's a damn good driver, but he can also be an idiot on the track at times.
Yeah, we saw that well on display back at the Truck Series finale 2023. That was something that lives rent free in a lot of our heads for all the wrong reasons. But Corey Heim, um, hey, he's a good driver, but he suffers from that. I put him in the category of suffering from that rich kid syndrome, like what Ty Gibbs has, or like
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Tim. Fuck. You can even say the same thing with Austin Dillon.
oh yeah, Dylan's always had the silver spoon fed him his entire life, and he's a decade older than the two of them, yet he's not far off mentally from both of them. But it's Corey Heim. Hey, as long as he can stay out of trouble, and as long as he can stay out of the way of a certain Carson Hocevar character, he'll be looking pretty racy in the near future. But kudos to Corey Heim getting that start. But it's going to be interesting to see how he'll do if he does bypass Xfinity to move up to Cup.
Yeah, that's a pretty big jump, not gonna lie, from truck to cup.
It is, but we've seen it. We've seen drivers bypass before. I mean, Hocevar did it a couple years ago. He bypassed Xfinity to move up to Cup last year. And then most
Oh, Safar
notably,
did do it.
Hocevar did do it, but we've also seen it in other areas. I mean, Jesse Love won the ARCA title back in 23, and he jumped right over the Truck Series to move to the Xfinity Series to replace Sheldon
Right.
Creed. So it's happened a lot in the sport. It's just, I guess but we've seen it hurt drivers before. We've seen in the past guys like Stephen Wallace, for example, Rusty's son, just go right up from ARCA to Xfinity, and that was disaster in the making right there.
Well, anytime you fuck with Rusty Wallace, a disaster is waiting to happen.
Well, Stephen Wallace tried to be like his father, Rusty, but he didn't replicate that.
Man. You're not. Don't do what your dad did.
Yeah, yeah, no.
Jeff Gordon fans know.
Jeff Gordon fans know all too well.
Even though Jeff Gordon started it, so he deserved the
He,
payback.
he did deserve the payback, but yeah, as a Gordon fan and you with that DuPont jacket right behind you, I think we are both in some pain about that.
Yes, we
Yeah.
are. Yes, we are. But hey, 4 championships. I mean, even though we were, not old enough to know what the fuck happened.
Well, we were still
Well,
kids, but
you were just a baby when he won his last championship.
oh yeah, I was 6 months old, but you know what? I can boast that the year I was born was when Jeff Gordon won a title, so I can
Hey,
at
I was born.
least
Hey, I was born in '97 when the Bulls were still winning their championships, and they were actually fun to watch.
yeah, we still yearn for those days here in the Chicago suburbs. That's not gonna
Unfortunately.
that's not gonna happen anytime soon, but that's for another podcast down the
Yep, yep,
line.
yep. That's later.
That's for another podcast down the line. Pat, let's get into the fun bullshit chaos that happened this weekend at Atlanta. We kicked off with a doubleheader on Saturday, the Truck Series race. I unfortunately could not see the action this weekend, but I recorded it, went back and watched it. Really, the biggest storyline happening in this weekend was your pick, or your driver, I should say, Raja Caruth, crashing out middle of the race and taking quite a few guys with him.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, Raja. Hey, there's still a whole lot of regular season left, and soon we'll be going to Las Vegas, where Raja ended up winning last year.
Yep.
So you never know. But um, Pat's pick, Raja Caruth, or his driver. No, you didn't pick Raja, but yeah, his driver did not
I
go.
thought I did.
No, I think you picked Ty Majeski.
Oh, I did. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, it was
The
Majeski.
Raja was last week then.
Raja was at Daytona, but that didn't go as well for him either.
Nope. Well,
Nope.
again, these are super speedways. They're so hit or miss. For super speedways like Atlanta, Talladega, and Daytona, you pretty much have to avoid the big one, and you're in good hands.
Well, that's unfortunately what did happen to Raja. He got into a
Mm-hmm.
big accident on the front stretch. The front straightaway was the trouble zone this weekend at Atlanta. That's where a lot of the carnage and chaos happened. But wheeling the day for the Truck Series and returning to victory lane, much needed in a dramatic photo finish between himself and Stuart Friesen, is one KFB Kyle fucking Busch, just to spell out what that acronym means.
What a finish. What a
Yeah.
finish that was.
Yeah, that was a good finish. That Stuart Friesen, he's been looking for that. He's been riding a pretty big winless streak. He hasn't won in a couple years, but it was looking like it could be his day, but he forgot to count out that guy behind him who is the
I
all-time
was going to
leader.
say, don't sleep on the veteran.
Hey, Kyle Busch, he may be sluggish, but you know what? You put him behind some good machinery, he's still going to be a wheelman, and he's still going to be able to do it.
I was going to say, yeah, he's got the speed behind good equipment.
Yeah, and the good equipment does not lie at RCR, but right now that lies at Spire in the lower series. But Kyle Busch pulls off the dramatic photo finish in the Truck Series at Atlanta. We'll take a look at the results here. Kyle Busch wins over Stuart Friesen by about 13 one thousandths of a second. Ooh, that was very close.
Too close for comfort.
Too close for comfort, but Rowdy wins it. Tyler Ankrum finishes third. Bailey Curry with a strong run in fourth. Pat, our boy Chandler Smith, back in fifth. Not the good run for that team. Caden Honeycutt in sixth. Ben Rhodes in seventh. His
A nice
teammate
start for Honeycutt. A nice start for Honeycutt. I have some high hopes for him this year.
Caden Honeycutt has definitely looked really racy. Granted, we've gone to only super speedways so far, but he's looked very good to
Ben
start
Rhodes
off
and Ty Majeski with top 10 finishes. Not
their
bad.
teammate Jake Garcia right there and Grant Infinger rounding out the top 10. But boy, this truck series, I'm optimistic for the truck series that some of these guys will be maturing. We already saw that with one Ty Majeski. Caden Honeycutt definitely has some good runs going. And Bailey Curry definitely looking really racy, but you never know what could happen with the truck series, but it's the real test is gonna come at Las Vegas in just a couple weeks.
Yeah. As I say, truck's off this week and then on to Vegas 2 weeks later.
Yep. Yep. 2 weeks later.
Yeah, 2 week break, 2 week break for truck and then back to Vegas.
Yep. Yep. They just do these breaks that I don't know. They were at Coda. I don't know why they won't go back there with them, but it's just as how the schedule aligns.
Yeah.
All right. Well, from truck to the next doubleheader race, the Xfinity Series on Saturday. This was an RCR clinic. If RCR could run this good in Xfinity, like it could run this good in Cup, like they do in Xfinity, Pat, they'd be a powerhouse, no doubt about it.
Oh, 100% too. And I know a lot of people are saying that RCR can only succeed at super speedways, but hey, they've been getting better at some of those other oval tracks.
They have been getting better at some of those other intermediate tracks, but right now their claim to fortune is on the super speedway. It was an RCR front row. Jesse Hill, who won, or Jesse Love, I mean, Jesse Love, who won Daytona
You said
last.
that on purpose.
Well, I'm not far off.
Nope.
No, I'm not far off at all. Jesse Love, who won at Daytona last week, won the pole. His teammate Austin Hill was outside. Jesse Love led a little bit, but that guy in that 21 car, you love and I love even so much more. Austin Hill was setting sail.
Now, one is Tom Brady, and the other is Austin fucking Hill.
Yeah, there are two owners of Atlanta Motor Speedway. Tom Brady is one of them, and Austin Hill is the other. Any of you Falcons fans out there, run for the hills. But yeah, that was. Hey, any Falcons fans out there? That game still lives rent free in all of our in both of our heads too. So,
And it wasn't an easy finish either on Saturday. There were drivers coming for that win.
there were a lot of guys coming for that win. So let's get into some of the action here. Really, the biggest wreck that happened before the end of the race was Sam Mayer. He had an awesome day going, running up in the top five again, looking to score another good run like he did at Daytona last week. He got into a big multi-car accident in front of that car, was virtually destroyed. Sam Mayer, it's a good racer, but he gets in a little bit over his head sometimes.
He might be checkers or wreckers soon.
Sam Mayer really had last year. I would say he was the definition of checkers or wreckers. He won twice, but really, when he was at Junior Motorsports, that one car kept finding the barriers a lot.
Finding the barriers, finding other cars to knock out,
finding people to fight with on pit road after the race because he's
that too.
Sam Mayer. Hey, he is very head over heels on the track, and if you see him off the track, he is not much different at all.
Yeah, he's just got a straight face.
Yeah, he's got a straight face, but you don't want to mess with him. He's a strong boy.
Yeah, stay the fuck away from Sam Mayer, please.
Hey, that's why I like him. He provides a lot of the entertainment, but he gets a little bit over his head sometimes. But let's talk about the finish because this was a bit foreshadowing of what was to come on Sunday, I feel. So Really, it was a three-car race between Austin Hill, Eric Almirola, and Justin Allgaier. Allgaier and Almirola, they teamed up to overtake Austin Hill. They led at the white flag lap, but Austin Hill, that 21 car, they were on fire all weekend long. He got by both of them without much issue. And then going down the backstretch, we saw some problems. Ryan Sieg got put in the wall on the front straightaway by Parker Retzloff. And you could tell that 39 car, there was something, whether it had a tire go down or the toe link, it wasn't handling right. Sieg spun around in front of Sheldon Creed, and a whole bunch of drivers got wiped out. And literally the whole field behind them, yeah, there were still some cars coming, but it was basically the whole field was swept up in that wreck. And NASCAR made an interesting move. They let the three drivers, Hill, Almirola, and Allgaier, race back to the start finish line, didn't throw the caution, and Austin Hill, your boy, wins his third consecutive race at Atlanta. I shed a few tears on Saturday night.
Yeah, you were talking all that shit last weekend, though. Well, how was that this weekend?
Yeah, you kept the receipt, and clearly Austin Hill watches this show, and he kept his receipt as well. But kudos to RCR and Austin Hill. You guys clearly have it figured out on these drafting tracks, especially with Jesse Love winning at Daytona last weekend. But Pat, I want to talk to you about the ending because this garnered a lot of, I would say, coverage for the moment because we were yet to be aware of what would happen on Sunday night. NASCAR let them race back. They didn't throw the caution. They let the three drivers battle it out for the win. But then the next day, Elton Sawyer said to the public in a statement that basically they should have thrown the caution at the end of the race. And I found that somewhat foreshadowing.
I don't agree with that. I mean, you saw how Daytona ended last week. I mean, they let them finish under green when that big wreck happened. So I figured, please stay green, please stay green. It's not like I don't understand why you would throw the caution.
I don't know what Elton Sawyer saw to warrant them throwing a caution. I mean, yes, there were still some cars coming,
I don't
but
know what took him so long to think that.
I I don't know either. It was very it was a bit foreshadowing of what was to come on Sunday's race, but it was interesting how they let the cars basically race it out, which is, in my opinion, how it should be on the last lap. You have an accident, there's some cars coming.
Even a serious accident. If the accident's not so serious, let them finish.
Well, it was a big accident, but really it wasn't like any car. There were no cars that got airborne or were tumbling. I mean,
There were
they
no
were
cars that flew into the fence
no,
or pulled any Ryan Priest.
no, no. There was none of that happening. And I just saw the statement on Sunday before the race, and I was like, why, why would there be? Why would you want to throw a caution there at the end? Like, why would
Who the
you want to?
fuck would have thought that was a? Who the fuck would have thought that'd be a warning sign for what was to come on Sunday?
Well, that did end up being a bit of a warning sign for what was to come on Sunday. But I just found that very interesting. Ellen Sawyer somewhat took a shot at the officiating and the flagmans after the race and said you should have thrown a caution there. But really, you let the leaders race back, and that's what they did. They let them race back, and it was a good finish on Saturday. I just,
Exactly. I mean, exactly. I mean,
yeah.
you're, and, and if somebody made a different move, either Almirola or Allgaier, they could have got Hill at the end.
They could have caught Hill at the end, but it really Austin Hill had that entire race completely figured out from top to bottom. He led I don't know how many laps he led, but he swept the stages again. He swept every stage so far. Granted, we've been at drafting tracks; those have been his bread and butter. But that 21 car and that whole RCR brigade, they are unstoppable at these play tracks or the super speedway tracks. I mean, the Xfinity Series Garage. They better hope that in the next 2 months between now and Talladega, that they have something cooked up to overtake those cars.
I think they will. I think they will.
Yeah, well, we saw it later on last year, and this has always been kind of the thing. RCR, they start off good, at the super speedway tracks, but as the year goes on, other teams begin to figure it out a little bit. We've seen that in years past, but right now they got a lot going for them. So Austin Hill is the winner. Justin Allgaier takes second. Eric Almirola back in third. Sammy Smith with a pretty decent start this year. He's in fourth. Nick Sanchez, good run in the 48, is fifth. Jeb Byrne was your dark horse pick. He took sixth. Daniel Dye, good run
Hey,
for him in
bad.
seventh. Leland Honeymoon, great run in eighth. William Sawalich and Harrison Byrne rounding out the top 10. Good old Harry. He's had a good start to his return in Xfinity. He's back-to-back top tens.
Oh, for sure. Well, though, like you said, super speedways, but you
Mm,
never know.
no, you never
You
know.
never know what could happen, for years to come.
No, you never know. But Harrison Byrne, I mean, he won at Daytona in the Cup Series last year. He's got super speedways figured out for the most part, and right now he's running really good at them in Xfinity. But uh, the real test will be coming up this weekend as we shift from super speedways to a road course. But more on that in a bit. All right. Well, let's get into the main event on Sunday, the Ambetter 400. Pat, this was I came home from Sunday night. I watched the entire race recorded from start to finish. Wow, I wish I had seen this live because this was fun. Uh,
It was, dude. Holy shit.
it was fun. It was a lot of just pure joy, and I really want to go back to I really want to go check out the new Atlanta someday in the future.
I do too. I want to go back there too. I saw it make its debut.
Yeah, you were there first race with the Super Speedway Atlanta 3 years ago. Still don't hate you for it, but
You hate me for Daytona. I
I
get
hate you for Daytona. But stage one was
it.
clean and green, no caution, and Josh Berry in that 21 car, he looked
Hey,
really
Josh
good.
fucking Berry. Where did he come from?
Well, they brought out a fast car for him this weekend, and Penske and the Wood Brothers, because the Wood Brothers are like the fourth Penske car. They are in Xfinity at super speedways what RCR is in, or they are what RCR is in the Xfinity series of super speedways, what they are in the Cup series at these drafting tracks. Like they put on a show on Sunday.
Yeah, and they definitely did.
Yeah, they came out swinging. Josh Berry won the stage, his first since Daytona of last year, and then stage two started, and we really thought a lot of the action would happen until stage three. But Pat, you had a good day on Sunday, but it was not meant to, or you had a good day on Saturday. It was not meant to be on Sunday, as on lap 149. Ricky Stenhouse and Chase Briscoe collide coming off of turn four, and that sent Stenhouse up the racetrack and into Chase Elliott. Elliott
I
scrapes the
would
wall.
put I would put the blame more on Stenhouse for that.
Yeah, I would probably put the blame more on him a bit too. He kind of came down a little bit. Really, the whole field kind of funneled off of turn
But he
four.
was coming down pretty close to Briscoe, not leaving any room for Chase Briscoe, which forced Briscoe to get loose and bump him into Elliott. So really, I'm blaming that 47 car.
Yeah,
Again.
yeah, that 47 car, and he's been a weapon the first 2 weeks. Put Chase Elliott in the wall. Elliott breaks the right rear toe link on his car. He lost control, spun out, and clobbered Brad Keselowski and Corey LaJoie. So he took one idiot out in the fold, at least. But I, I, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has not made a lot of friends so far in 2025.
Man, there's been a lot of NASCAR drivers that haven't been making friends lately. One is Austin Dillon, Ricky Stenhouse. Well, that's been a thing for a while. Hell, even Kyle Larson wasn't quite making any friends on Sunday. Chase Briscoe wasn't making any friends either because he was doing some idiot moves later in the race. And then Carson Hocevar, but we'll touch on that shortly. But Stenhouse,
Yeah,
what the fuck are you doing, dude? You what were you trying to get out of that?
I, I,
What were you trying to get?
I'll give him somewhat of a pass because coming off of turn 4 into the front stretch, the field kind of funnels, they bunch together and stuff. You kind of have to, you kind of have to squeeze a little bit, but he squeezed Chase Briscoe a little bit harder than he should have. And that ended up taking a guy in Chase Elliott who was doing nothing wrong. Chase Elliott did nothing wrong at all in that wreck and just
Yeah,
completely.
Chase Elliott didn't do anything bad. He was just in the wrong place, wrong time. He was just in the wrong place, wrong time situation, only to be taken out by an idiot who made a bonehead move 2 weeks in a fucking row.
Yeah, yeah. Ricky Stenhouse put the bad block on Joey Logano to cause the big accident at Daytona, and this week took out a bunch of cars. And I always hated when this happens is when two guys racing together cause a wreck and they don't get big damage from the wreck and they still move on. And that's exactly what happened on Sunday. Chase Elliott was still able to continue and finish the race, but Brad Keselowski and Corey LaJoy, they were
I was
done
gonna
for the
say
day.
Elliott still finished on the lead lap thanks to some of those cautions and got a top 20 finish. So I'm not too pissed off about it.
No, but that definitely he had a good car before then, and that took him out of
He did
contention
have a
to
good
win.
car, and he was catching up the field.
He was, but that basically took him out of contention to win. So Chase Elliott, he was still able to finish, but Brad Keselowski, it's been a rough start for that team. They took dead last. Corey LaJoy also out of the race in 38th. But Pat, you mentioned another driver who you weren't really impressed with, but I gotta say, I was pretty impressed with him because super speedways have been his kryptonite in his entire career. But Kyle Larson came to race on Sunday. Larson led quite a few
He did.
laps.
For once at a super speedway, Kyle Larson came to race and could have won the fucking thing.
He could have won it, but he won stage 2. I believe that's his first ever stage win on a drafting track. That's what they said. So that Kyle Larson, they figured some things out in just a short amount of time because he was complaining to his team at Daytona last week that he just sucks at these tracks. And Jeff Gordon was pretty vocal that he wants to see Larson do better on these drafting tracks.
I mean, where have we seen this before?
Yeah,
Jeff
yeah.
has won at super speedway, so he's expecting, Hendrick cars to win at super speedways. Obviously, we saw Chase Elliott win at a super speedway. We saw William Byron win at a super speedway. Um,
Alex Bowman's run pretty good at super speedways. He hasn't won there, but he's run really good at those
I
tracks.
was gonna say he had a good run on Sunday too.
He did, but Kyle Larson, really, you got to put him at the bottom in terms of the category at Hendrick Motorsports for the super speedway drivers. But hey, he showed up and he made himself a threat to win on Sunday
Yeah. Yeah, no, impressive run by Larson on Sunday at Atlanta for once.
for once. Yes, for once he looked really good. He won stage 2 over Bubba Wallace and Joey Logano. And then stage 3, that's where we had a lot of the carnage. Started off on lap 184. Mi amigos, the defending winner of this race, Daniel Suarez, he had a rough day out there. The whole balance of the car was off. And going down the front stretch, he tangled together with Ty Gibbs and Todd Gilliland, and that just sparked off a big accident, hit the outside wall, then came back across the track and took a whole bunch of cars. Cole Custer, JJ Yaley, Noah Gregson, Zane Smith, and Cody Ware all involved. And it was basically the end of the day for a lot of those guys.
Yeah, dudes, amigos, Daniel Suarez. I mean, again, he already lost Pitbull. Well, if he
Yeah.
doesn't have a good year, he could be out the door at Trackhouse.
Yeah, because the big thing keeping him tied at Trackhouse, I would argue, was Pitbull. But now that Pitbull's gone, Daniel Suarez, he got a 1 year extension, but I think this year he's looking for more than a 1 year extension.
It's make or break year. Like he needs to stay consistent. Otherwise,
Yeah.
Daniel, I love you, but we love you, but
Eh, yeah. It's sorry, buddy, but hey, you get a win, you're in the playoffs. Hopefully that'll keep you around for the future. But this Suarez got completely taken out. Cole Custer, he hit really hard into the outside wall. That team, they've struggled so far, but that's been kind of expected. Haas Factory, kind of in a reboot mode after the SHR closer. We kind of expected this a little bit to start this year.
Right.
Yeah, so that was basically the end of the day for a lot of them. Ty Gibbs and Zane Smith, they were able to go on, but Ty Gibbs, it was a it was a bit of a long day for him after that.
Were we in Zombieland mode on the track? Because literally it was a double tap for Ty Gibbs for his day to come to an end.
Yeah, it was a double tap for him right there. But 20 laps later, it was more of the same for him. So we had two accidents on lap 204. Chase Briscoe continuing his villain arc phase, squeezes Chris Buescher into the wall, and he spun and got clobbered by Alex Bowman. That would basically be the end of both of their chances to win. And then going down the backstretch, Ty Gibbs just trying to make circles and keep his car out there. He blows the tire and KOs the wall going down the backstretch. That would be the end of his day.
Yeah, man. Can't say I'm surprised of that happening at a super speedway.
Can't say I'm surprised either, but Ty Gibbs, he needs to get himself a win. We keep hearing everyone say, "Oh, he's going to be the next big thing. He's going to do it," but
What the fuck has he done?
what is he? Well, he made the playoffs, but that lasted all
That's
of one
it.
round. That lasted all of one round for you last year, and I don't know. We keep hearing everyone say Ty Gibbs is going to be the next big thing. He's going to do it. Watch, but 2 years, he's looking more like Sheldon Creed in the Xfinity series. Just hasn't put it all together yet. But I believe it'll happen one day. I believe it will happen, but it's yet to be determined as to when. But Pat, let's get into one driver who wasn't making a whole lot of friends on Sunday, and his name is Carson
I was
Hocevar.
just gonna say, is his name Carson Hocevar?
His name is one Carson Hocevar. You got that right, Patrick Codo. You got that one right.
Is it
But
that guy with that ugly looking Joker smile like we see on Joey Logano?
yes, that would be the guy. That would be the guy. But
Yeah, Carson Hocevar. That's a driver we don't like.
okay, I like the mentality of Carson. I like his driving style. He's a good wheelman, but he's he's looking like Ross Chastain from 21 and 22 out there.
He's basically taking notes from Ross Chastain because literally Chastain just got aggressive as fuck.
Well, we'll get more on Ross in a bit, but Carson Hocevar, he had himself quite a day. End of stage one, he blocked Kyle Busch, kept Kyle Busch from finishing in the top 10 in stage one, and Busch on his radio said a lot of friendly things about him that really I don't feel like going into. You can just look at it all.
You know
Just
he's
see the
not
whole
wrong
thing.
though about that.
You know he's not wrong.
Anytime Kyle Busch or Denny Hamlin need to make statements about fuck ups in NASCAR, they're always right.
They're always right.
Whether you
Yeah.
love or hate the guy, they're always right.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, I did see the end of stage one where Carson Hocevar slid up in front of Kyle Busch. I can definitely understand what KFB was upset about. And then on lap 233, both Hocevar and Ryan Blaney, who I'm repping this week, they were racing nose to tail, battling. I think it was for fifth and sixth, going down into turn one. Hocevar just pushing Blaney way too much and spins the 12 car out. He didn't hit anything, but he lost a lot of positions in that one. And Ryan Blaney also did not mince words about Carson Hocevar after that wreck. And that I'm just gonna say I like Carson Hocevar as a driver. I think he's a wheelman. He's done a lot that he had a good rookie year last year. He didn't make
He
as
just
many.
needs to stay out of trouble.
He needs to stay out of trouble. I love his racing mentality, but he keeps finding himself in trouble way too much.
He's making some idiotic decisions, and you're not going to make any friends doing that.
No, you're not. You're not going to make any friends doing that at all. But Hocevar spinning Ryan Blaney, that didn't help him out at all. More on those two in a bit. Racing did resume, and then cue in the Buffalo Wild Wings bun because we had overtime once again. Kyle Larson and Austin Cindric, they were battling for the lead with just a couple laps to go. And
Austin fucking Cindric.
yeah, yeah, he had a good race, but not a good finish. Coming off of turn two down the backstretch, Larson moved up, put Cindric in the wall, and then Cindric bounced off the wall. William Byron hit him, and both of those cars spun out and wiped out the inside wall. Cindric, his day was done. I think Byron was able to finish, but albeit with a very torn up race car. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, Byron was able to finish, but yeah, not too only one spot ahead of Cindric. But yeah, Austin Cindric, he's had a good start to his season. He led a lot at Daytona and led a lot at Atlanta, but it just wasn't the result for that two car.
Nope, not at all. I thought he was going to win it. I really
thought
thought he was going to win it the way he was racing. Him
hey,
and Josh Berry, the way they race, I thought these guys could really pull a win out of their asses, won't they?
really, we both thought of that, but
So we thought.
so we thought, so we thought, but it wasn't meant to be for Austin Cindric nor William Byron, who's a former winner, two-time winner at the newly configured Atlanta. Wasn't meant to be for either of them. But we got overtime, and Pat, this is where we get into some of the controversy. This was a dead heat. You had Kyle Larson up there leading, Christopher Bell, who hadn't really been up front all day, but was lingering around when it mattered. You had Hocevar up there, you had Ross Chastain up there, you had Blaney up there. You had a whole bunch of drivers racing up front, trying to battle for the win. Then going down the backstretch, we had some contact. Josh Berry, his good day came to an end. He got turned around and took a bunch of other cars with them. And we were robbed again. We were robbed of greatness. It was a three-horse race between Bell, Hocevar, and Larson. They were three wide in turn three. And as they were about to enter turn four, NASCAR, in an opposite move from Saturday, they threw the caution flag, and you saw the cars go three wide at the start-finish line. I'm going to channel my inner director Krennic here because we were on the verge of greatness. We were this close to securing another great finish at Atlanta.
Matt, help me what makes sense here. Help me out here. Help me out here. Anybody watching, help me. Help us. Help me. Help you. Last week at Daytona, one lap to go, big wreck happens. It stays green the rest of the way. Xfinity, a wreck on the last lap, finished green. A wreck on the last lap at Atlanta, caution. What in God's fuck was going through NASCAR's head thinking, oh, caution. Did you not watch the Daytona 500 and the Xfinity race at Atlanta? What the fuck did you see that made you want to throw the caution? What the fuck did you see? What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is this? What? What's I'm confused. You're confused. The whole
A lot of
NASCAR
NASCAR fans were confused. I was
So
confused.
are we just gonna decide we're throw caution? Oh, caution! Like, no, that's fine. Caution, no caution. Oh no, that's fine. No, fuck you, NASCAR. Fuck you. Fuck you. You just ruined another great finish. God damn it. God damn it. We could have saw a fucking Carson Hocevar win. We could have saw a Kyle Larson win.
Hey,
I'm not taking anything away from Christopher Bell. I thought he deserved the win.
Yeah, but really, I don't understand what warrants the cars to go and finish the race and what warrants a caution flag, because the ending of the Xfinity race on Saturday was basically under the same circumstance as the ending of the Cup race in terms of the accident on the backstretch.
I was just gonna say the Cup race the wreck came out literally near the start finish. Where for Xfinity, It came out like what? Not even halfway through the final
Well,
lap.
the wreck on the wreck though, the Cup Series race was on the same the wreck on the backstretch in the Cup race was at the same almost the same exact spot
Okay,
where
I
the
don't pay
Xfinity.
attention to exactly when the wrecks happened. I just know, oh, wreck happened.
Yeah. But really it was like the same exact spot and it was just such a reversal from a day before. It's like you're going to let guys in a lower series battle it out and let them race back. And I felt like with that precedent, it should be okay. That precedent has been set. It should be the same for Cup Series the next day. I don't care what Ellen Sawyer said about the cars, about him saying that should have been a caution flag. Come on, you
NASCAR
haven't.
is really bringing its 2024 controversial bullshit into this year.
Yes, yes, and it's really the big one is what warrants a caution flag to end the race because
And
that's
not only that, too, it costed some drivers some win. Obviously, it costed Carson Hocevar and Kyle Larson some wins. We saw that shit happen in the duels where Eric Jones pretty much got fucked out of a win.
yeah, yeah,
Like
it's
I don't understand. You don't understand. Our NASCAR buddies don't understand. The whole NASCAR community doesn't understand.
yeah.
What makes sense, buddy? What makes sense to throw
What
the fucking caution?
what determines really if
To
they should race back?
throw or not to throw a
The
caution or whatever you
thrower,
said
yeah,
that
yeah, to end green or not to end green. Like,
time.
like what
Yeah,
warrants, like what warrants it ending under green and what doesn't? Because really, you let them race back at the end. The wreck in the Xfinity race happened at almost the same exact point as the Cup wreck did
yeah,
on
I don't
Sunday.
understand. I would have finished green. I would
I,
have finished green. I would have loved to see another photo finish because likely that was going to happen. And I'm not going to lie, if it was a photo finish, I think I think we had a feeling who was going to have their both person my entering Lightning McQueen, their
oh
tongue
yeah,
out.
yeah. We would have been treated to the Cars one finish all over again between both
I had
between.
a feeling it probably would have been fucking Larson because he's been in that scenario before, and I unfortunately had to fall victim to see it.
Yeah, yeah, that lives rent free in your head as well. But you
It
know what?
does. Yeah,
But
greatest finish ever, but it had to be fucking Kyle Larson.
well, you were spared from that on Sunday, so you can at
I could
least think.
I could have lived. I could have lived the fucking Truex being the winner for that.
Oh,
I could have lived with
yeah, I could have lived with
him or
Truex.
Kyle Busch. I could have lived with that. But Larson,
I couldn't live with Kyle Busch winning. I don't
I
really
would have
care.
lost it. I would have lost it if it was Joey Logano, though.
I think a lot of NASCAR fans would have lost if it was Joey Logano. But
Yep. But yes, no, we were robbed of another good finish.
yeah, we were robbed.
That's what it was looking to be.
Yeah, exactly. And we've seen NASCAR do this in the past. They haven't thrown a caution flag out at these big super speedway tracks, and they've let the cars race back and end the race. I can literally
Hell,
go
you
through.
can even argue the 2022 summer race where Chase Elliott won. I thought that could have finished green as well.
Yeah, yeah, that
Because
wreck.
all that happened was he just threw a small block. I mean, it wasn't a serious block. He just
Yeah,
threw a small block on Corey LaJoie. He wrecked, which I thought Elliott won that race clean. Elliott won that race clean. He deserved that win.
yeah.
I thought they should have let 2022 summer race finish green. It would have been a good
And
battle between Chase Elliott and Ross Chastain.
and that wreck didn't involve as much cars as it did on Saturday's Xfinity race, which they let them race back. So really, we have to look at NASCAR and ask the question: what warrants you throwing the caution, and what doesn't warrant you throwing the caution? Because there's no line. It's so mixed in between. You
I
can't
mean, sure, NASCAR is thinking, oh, well, let's not make that mistake again. No, 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 no. Finish green. Finish green.
finish green. The fans came to see a damn good ending, and we were robbed of that.
Don't leave us fans confused.
No.
Because you pretty much left us fans confused
Yeah.
after Atlanta.
Yeah. There are a lot of fans.
When we originally said after Daytona, okay, NASCAR let them finish. Fox actually had some decent coverage. We're
Yeah.
off to a good start. And then, nope, back on our bullshit, or as you like to call, mid-season form.
Yep. Yep. Yep, we're in midseason form already, but yeah, I don't understand what warrants a caution and what doesn't, but I hopefully NASCAR they need to get this right in the other super speedway races coming up this year because it's there's four more super speedway races
I can't
left.
wait to see NASCAR fuck it up on a road course.
Uh, that'd be a lot. That
Because usually when cars wreck on a road course, they usually let them. It usually stays green most of the time.
yeah, if they do the same bullshit
Not
on
to
road
sound like
course.
that guy, but I won't be surprised if they fuck it up at Coda this weekend. I really won't be surprised.
You never know. You never know. But
We don't want that, but
yeah, we wouldn't be surprised. But Pat, a guy who was just lurking around, we didn't really think he would be much of a factor this weekend, but he stole one at Atlanta. Christopher Bell claims his first win of the season. He's going to be on his revenge arc after getting screwed over last year. He takes it barely.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he got screwed over and he's looking for revenge. And he takes it barely over Carson Hocevar and Kyle Larson. Hocevar, his best finish in Cup. He's second. Kyle Larson third. Ryan Blaney rebounds to finish fourth. And our favorite driver, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., brings it home in fifth. Denny Hamlin, who was lurking around all day, he takes sixth. Kyle Busch rebounds in seventh.
Hey,
Ross.
not Carson Hocevar. Hey, Ricky Stenhouse. We'll celebrate. Here's how we'll celebrate your fifth place finish. This is how we're gonna celebrate your first place finish.
Your fifth place finish.
This is how we're gonna celebrate it.
Yeah.
That's a special number one for you, fucker.
Chase Elliott fans not happy right now.
Yeah, Brad Keselowski fans too. So
Yeah, Brad fans. Well, they're down bad because Brad has ended up on the hook the past 2 weeks.
learn how to drive, you idiot.
I still don't know how he won back to back.
Ricky fucking Stenhouse.
I still look back and see Stenhouse win 2 Xfinity Series titles in a row, and then I see him drive now a cup, and it's like, where was this Ricky Stenhouse? Like, where was this guy back in Xfinity way back when?
Thankfully, though, Chase Elliott right now is in the top 10 for standings and had a top 20 finish on Sunday. So
Yeah,
not all that pissed off, but
yeah,
fuck you, Ricky Stenhouse. Fuck you.
yeah. Not looking good there. Kyle Busch takes seventh. Ross Chastain eighth. Bubba finishes ninth. And how about John Hunter Nemechek? He's had a good start to his season. Finished fifth at Daytona last week.
I was going to say Bubba Wallace had himself a good run. Oh, speaking of John Hunter Nemechek, Matt, not to cut you off, but Ryan Blaney and John Hunter Nemechek are the only drivers to finish in the top 10 so far.
John Hunter Nemechek. He can
and
keep
Ryan Blaney are the only drivers to finish in the top 10 so far. Yes, we're 2 races in, but that's pretty impressive.
Hey, legacy, they've stepped it up a little bit. John Hunter Nemechek's been really good. Eric Jones has been really good, but he's just been at the wrong place, wrong time. He got taken out in a crash at Atlanta early with Chris Buescher, but he's looked pretty racy so far. And I want to give a shout out to Michael McDowell. He had power steering issues. He went to the garage. He came back out 5 laps down, and McDowell was the beneficiary of the free pass 6 times in the race, and he battled back to finish on the lead lap in 13.
I was going to say him and Chase Elliott battled back to finish on the lead lap, so good for them.
Hey, you know what? I applaud NASCAR for one thing, and that is taking away, redoing the DVP and letting these cars come back out and finish and make laps and take circles. Because
I love it. We don't need that many DNFs and fucking playoff.
No, we shouldn't have a car.
That's a saving grace.
Yeah, we shouldn't have a car fail to finish a race because their toe link breaks or their tire falls flat and they can't drive it around back and NASCAR has to take them to the garage. Like, you should be able to finish the race still and not have a DNF. And Josh Berry, I feel, he fell victim to that a lot last year, and he was pretty vocal about it. He finished with the most DNFs of any driver last year, but NASCAR, they got that right, and I'm happy to see cars that were involved in accidents come back out and finish the race.
Shane Van Gisbergen and Josh Berry, despite them falling at the end, they raced pretty good too.
Yeah, Josh Berry, unfortunately wasn't able to finish the race.
He was even
So
leading a couple times.
he led quite a bit of laps. Quite a few drivers were taken out in that wreck. SVG, Justin Haley was involved. Riley Herbst, Ryan Priest, they were all collected, but they had good runs going. Todd Gilliland also had a really good run going, but he had a tire failure early in the race.
William
That'll
Byron
that
had a good run there. A lot of drivers had some good runs before they got involved in the wrecks.
Yep. Atlanta brings that competitiveness, and that's why I love the newly configured Atlanta. Yes, I know the old Atlanta had pretty exciting racing as well, but this new one, that ups it up about 10 times. Like
Yeah, no, I agree.
it's an
You just gotta hope that NASCAR can, not make idiotic decisions.
exactly.
That's the thing.
That's the fucking thing. But but Pat, the action wasn't over at Atlanta because Carson Hocevar had a lineup of drivers waiting to talk to him after the race. First, we had Ross Chastain. Chastain was upset that Hocevar ditched him on the last restart, and Chastain ended up falling back. He was in contention to win, but he ended up falling back to finish eighth. He was not happy with the 77 driver for leaving him out to dry. And then Ryan Blaney was upset about the contact that caused his spin out, and he went up to Carson Hocevar, and they had a civil discussion. It was cordial. Both him and Chastain, both of his conversations with Chastain and Blaney were cordial, but he had a line waiting for him.
Yeah, I mean, and the way it happened on Sunday, I mean, you knew Ross Chastain. Something needs to be brought to attention when Ross Chastain's in
Yeah.
some beef.
Yeah, when Ross Chastain is mad at you about something, there's a problem because
You're gonna hear it.
Yeah, you're gonna hear it, and it's not gonna be good. But Hocevar did put out a statement yesterday. I'm trying to find it here, but he basically did put out a statement that you know he hates it. Obviously, he's remorseful about it. I'm trying to see if I can find it here, but he basically, just to summarize his words up, he said, we shouldn't be it's not, we're all racing out there trying to be winning races. It's not a boy band. We're not all in love with each other. We're out there trying to win. And that's basically what he was trying to do, which I get, but really he crossed quite a few lines on Sunday, I feel.
Yeah, no, Hocevar again, good driver, but he's got to stop making idiotic decisions.
Yeah. I'm surprised Kyle Busch didn't come up to him after the race because Kyle Busch was very upset on the radio.
Kyle Busch is used to this shit. He's like, fuck it. This is how the sport's gonna be.
Yeah. Kyle Busch just kind of accepted reality, but Hocevar was lucky that he didn't have a third driver coming up to him waiting after the race. But
Surprised he didn't have the whole field.
oh yeah, he was making friends with the whole field out there. But hey, second race in, we'll see what happens to Hocevar, but he had a good race on Sunday. So Pat, we move now from Atlanta drafting tracks to one of the largest on the circuit, the road courses. We go back to Coda this weekend. We have racing in Xfinity on Saturday and Cup racing on Sunday. So, Pat, last year we had Kyle Larson win in Xfinity, I believe, ahead of your guy Austin Hill. And then in Cup, we had William Byron flat out put out a clinic and win the
Yes, he
race
did.
on Sunday. So we'll make our predictions for this weekend. Who you got for Xfinity on Saturday?
That's a good question, Mike. That's a great question of who I will take for the Xfinity car or for the Xfinity race on Saturday. I hate this driver, but damn, he's good on road courses for Xfinity. Sam Mayer. I'm taking Sam Mayer this Saturday.
Sam Mayer, hey, he's a wheelman on the road courses. He is a
Yep.
wheelman. Yeah, he's won 6 races in Xfinity. Half of them have been up, or no, 7 races in Xfinity. More than half of them have been on the road courses.
But yeah, he's good at it, so I'm gonna go with the Mayer on the road
Yep,
course.
the Mayor. Sam Mayer. All right. I like that pick. You know what? My guy, he's a rookie in Xfinity this year. He's a damn good driver. Everything he gets into, he wins. And you know what? One of his first starts in Xfinity last year, he won at the Glen, driving full time that 88 car for Junior Motorsports. Give me Connor Zilisch.
Dude, Connor Zilisch. That's a name
Yeah.
not to fuck with.
Oh, Connor Zilisch, he is a force. He's young. He's going to be 19 this year, but hey, everything he steps into, he just turns into wins. And he did that last year in Xfinity at the Glen, and I think he's going to do it again at this weekend at Coda. But
Hell
Connor,
yeah.
Zil- Connor Zilisch is my guy for Saturday. But Pat, let's move on to Sunday's Cup race. It'll be on 2:30 on Fox. Who you like?
Matt, this guy has lately been the new road course king. Obviously, we have a good list of drivers that are great on road courses, but this guy knows how to get it done on a road course. You know who I'm going towards. We're gonna go with that sexy motherfucker driving that awesome 88 car, Shane Van fucking Gisbergen.
Pee-wees will be back in action and they'll be flying in full force on Sunday. I love it.
Hey man, he's so good on road courses. No matter what no matter what level, Shane Van Gisbergen will get it done. He's gonna win on Sunday.
I like that pick. I
I
really
was
do
gonna
like
say
that.
all road courses are playgrounds for Shane Van Gisbergen.
If there's Shane Van Gisbergen, he's gotten pushed around a bit on the drafting track so far this year, but if there's a race he can swoop in and catch the field by storm, it'll be at Coda this weekend. I like Shane Van
Exactly.
Gisbergen.
This is a perfect opportunity for Shane Van Gisbergen to really make a name for himself. I mean, we saw Chase Elliott make a name for himself with his first win on a road course. We saw Jeff Gordon make a name for himself on road courses. Shane Van Gisbergen's that next one.
I like it. I like that pick. All right. My guy, he's another guy who's really a road course slayer. He hasn't won on a road course in a couple of years, but lately he's been very efficient. He's been somewhat pushed around a bit this year. He's a former winner at this track, but you know what? He's going to get it right, and I think he's going to be up there in contention on Sunday. Give me Tyler Reddick.
I was low-key thinking Chase Elliott at first because he's also won here and is good on road
Chase
courses.
Elliott is also.
Tyler Reddick is a good pick too.
Yep, Tyler Reddick. He loves this place. He ran really good here. He won here back in 23. Ran really good here last year. I think he'll be up there as well. You kind of took the SVG pick right out of my head, but you know what? I have a lot of backups in my. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You didn't. Unlike last week, you didn't fully take away my pick.
Oh, like your paint scheme of the week last week?
Yeah, but you know what? Hey, I got some backup options.
For sure.
I got some backup options for paint schemes of the week. All right, that's going to take us to the end of the show. Before we end, Pat, we take a look at our winners and losers of the week. I kind of have an idea who you're going to pick for one category, but let's hear it out.
Well, my winner of the week, I mean, before he wrecked on Sunday, you got to show love to Josh Berry.
Yeah, Josh Berry came out guns
He
a-blazing.
keeps it up, dude. He keeps this up. Wood Brothers might have a couple more wins this season.
They could. Hey, we said it. I think that was one of our bold predictions of the year. Josh Berry would be in victory lane a couple times this year.
Yep. My loser of the week. Well, he was originally on my list the minute it happened, but now he's going to drop to an honorable mention because we saw a bigger loser this week. But my honorable mention loser of the week is Ricky Stenhouse continuing to be on his bullshit again. But my actual loser of the week, NASCAR.
I knew
NASCAR.
it. I knew it. I
NASCAR.
knew it. I freaking knew it.
Did I steal your loser of the week?
No, you didn't. I was going to let you take that one. Yep. Yeah, for all the wrong reasons, NASCAR is once again one of our losers of the week. They were a winner last week,
I
and
won't be
now,
surprised if NASCAR is a popular loser on the week on this show this year because
yeah,
they're
they've
just
made
gonna
a.
find ways to fuck it up again.
Yep, that's all they've been doing. That is all they've been doing. All right, I like that. My winner of the week. You know what? He was there, right place, right time at the end. Honorable mention for winner of the week goes to the actual winner, Christopher Bell, for making it
Hey, he
count.
deserved it. I thought he deserved the win.
Yep, yep. He played it really good. But you know what? My actual winner of the week, it's gonna go to Kyle Larson because he learned quite a bit on the drafting tracks.
For
Uh,
once.
for once, this is easily his best run at a drafting track in quite a while. Picked up his first stage win on a drafting track, almost won it. Hey, that 5 car runs like he did on Sunday at the Talladega or Atlanta in the summer, or Daytona, or the fall Talladega race. He's going to be a name to watch out for, given how good he is at the intermediate tracks.
Absolutely.
So,
And he'll get that first super speedway victory soon.
yeah, probably sooner than later. But my loser of the week, I gotta do it because he's a great driver, but he had the whole field coming after him on Sunday. My loser of the week is Carson Hocevar. He did
What
not.
else is new?
Yeah, he honestly his rookie season last year. Yes, he did get into some drivers, Harrison Byrne at Nashville, and then Joey Logano and Jimmy Johnson at Indy. But really, Carson Hocevar kept his nose clean for a lot of last year.
He
But
did, and then this year he's not keeping his nose clean at all.
no, he didn't. He didn't. He's not been keeping his nose clean so far. He's caused quite a bit of chaos at Atlanta. I and we've seen this from Carson before in the Truck Series. He's done a lot of this before. I still remember Ryan Preece's infamous rant at Charlotte. He just stared directly in the camera after the truck race and was like, "Any of you kids watching out there that want to be drivers, don't do that. Like, just don't do that." Yeah, I mean, Ryan Preece was right because Carson Hocevar's done that quite a bit. So, Carson, I love you. You're a great driver, but
You're an
you need
idiot sometimes.
you are an idiot sometimes, and you are my loser of the week. But hopefully, you can rebound and get to the winners category. But all right, everyone, that's gonna wrap it up for the show. Thank you so much again, as always, for watching. Matt Lauterbach here hosting, and of course, joined by the person across from me.
Co-host of Codo Bach Pitstop, Patrick Codo. Matt, let's go racing at Coda this weekend.
Let's go racing at Coda. We'll see you next week for the Coda recap. Thanks again, everyone, for watching.